Welcome everyone to The Secret of Oneness. And the video that I'm going to do tonight is called Transform Your Inner Reality and Experience Your Desires Now. And I like to start off with a quote from Neville Goddard. But before I do that, just as a reminder, down in the description I will have all the stuff that I talk about and all the information as far as the Hebrew letters and all the links that I'm using. And also, if you need coaching, you're welcome to hit me up for some sessions. I have that on my site as well, and that's also down in the description below. So let's get started with the quote from Neville Goddard. Only as you claim yourself to be that which you desire to be will you express such desires. Let all desires become impressions of qualities that are, not of qualities that will be. Your awareness is God, and God is the fullness of all. The eternal now, I am. So I want to start off here with the scripture, Psalm 37:4. And it says, to delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So it seems like a pretty obvious thing here. You go to church, you delight yourself in God, and then he'll give you all the desires that you have in your heart. And I will tell you that this is way more powerful than that. As I was going through this, I was like, wow, this is powerful. So let me just show you here what this scripture actually means, and so that you can understand how to receive and experience your desires now. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to break down just a couple words. I'm not going to do the whole scripture. But delight here is the word Ayin, Nun, and Gimel. Those are the three Hebrew letters that make up the word delight. And it often conveys a sense of deep satisfaction. So the Ayin, remember, it means see, experience, or it can represent a fountain. It also means to see beyond what is happening in front of you. Okay? So it's a visionary, okay, to see beyond what's right in front of you there. And we'll get into a little bit more deeper of that as well. The word Nun means faithfulness, soul, or emergence. And emergence is the process of coming into view. And Gimel is it's the word Gimel, and it's constant transformation. It represents giving and receiving. Okay, so the way that I broke this down is I wrote it as the word delight means to experience a fountain beyond what is happening in front of you within your soul, which is coming into view as it's transforming through giving and receiving love. Okay? Because remember, God is love. Delight yourself in the Lord. The Lord is Yahweh. It means God. So you're experiencing a fountain beyond what is happening in front of you. So it's all happening within your soul, which is coming into view and it's transforming through giving and receiving love, which is God. So as you give and receive love within yourself, you experience that fountain within your soul. Okay, that's delight. It's a sense of deep satisfaction. So that's a pretty descriptive word there. If you look at it from that perspective, it just doesn't mean to delight yourself, which means to kind of just, you're satisfied. You delight yourself in a good meal or a good movie. This is way deeper than that. And so the next part here, I wrote that God is love, because that's, of course, the Lord is God, and that's what it means, is that God is love. So when you experience a fountain beyond what is happening in front of you within your soul, which is coming into view as it's transforming through giving and receiving love, you experience that. Now, the next one I put here is the word heart, okay? And it means lev in the Hebrew. And those are the letters lamed and bet, okay? And the word heart here, it's not your physical pump, okay? It encompasses the inner life of a person. So when they're talking about the heart of man, it's talking about your inner life of that person, okay? Which is extremely powerful when you look at it, that it's just not like, oh yeah, it's the heart, it's this, it's that. This is your inner life. This is who you are, right? And so the word lamed means it's a symbol of learning. In the Kabbalah, learning is mostly done with the heart and soul, not just the mind. It's just not intellect. The Lamed indicates that spiritual learning is the heart of human existence. That's pretty powerful. Let me read that again. The Lamed indicates that spiritual learning is the heart of human existence. Now, think about it. Most of the learning that we do in the physical realm is all logic. It's all memory-based. You have to remember things. You have to recall things. A lot of people, they memorize the scriptures and things like that. But the Kabbalah is saying that the learning that it's done with the heart and the soul and not the mind, it indicates that spiritual learning is the heart of human existence. So your entire existence comes from the heart. It comes from the inner man, which is the inner life of the person. Okay? And bet is literally meaning and form denote a house. So it's the actual bet. It looks like a house. It's a kind of a square, or kind of a half of a square in a way. But the literal meaning and the form of it denotes a house. And it represents the universal concept of a container or a vessel. Now, of course, in Scripture, they talk about us being the vessel of God, right? We're the container. We're the dwelling place of God, right? And so Bet represents the beginning of duality, with the one creator bringing forth a created world. That's manifesting. With the one creator bringing forth a created world. That's manifesting, you're creating, right? So that there can be both a giver, the creator, and a receiver, the created world, for the creator to bestow upon. So let me read that again and put some more context around it. So Bet is literal meaning and form denotes a house, and it represents the universal concept of a container or a vessel. Okay? And Bet represents the beginning of duality. Now remember, in the book of James, it talks about having a duality mindset. And if you have that duality mindset, you can receive nothing. But this is representing the beginning of duality with the one creator, which bringing forth a created world so that there can be both a giver and a receiver for the creator to bestow upon. So it's saying here that the creator bestows upon that duality, right? And it brings forth a created world. Now, I'm going to get into the next part here, which is pretty powerful. We'll talk about that for a few minutes. So the way that I have the heart here as a description, I wrote, as that fountain of love transforms within your soul as you express God, you will learn to give and receive between the spiritual, the unseen, and into the physical, which is the seen. And you will see and experience beyond what is happening in front of you. Now, that is the description of both delight and heart put together. Kind of that whole scripture right there. Now, let me read that again. As the fountain of love transforms within your soul as you express God. Because remember, when it talks about being God is in you, when the word in means to express. So when it talks about God in you, you're expressing God, okay? So as that fountain of love transforms within your soul as you express God, you will learn to give and receive, right? That's the duality. You're giving and receiving between the spiritual and the physical, which means you're giving, it's receiving, giving and receiving from the unseen into the seen. That's manifesting, okay? You will learn to give and receive between the unseen into the seen. And you will see the experiences beyond what is happening in front of you. That is the unseen world. So you're going to experience the things in the unseen world as you give and receive within that delight. As you delight yourself in the Lord and you express that, you're going to give and receive within the duality of the mind, which is the spiritual and the physical, the unseen and the seen. And then you're going to see you're going to have experiences beyond what is happening in front of you. So what's in front of you, you're going to go beyond that, and you'll see those things that are beyond that. So that's living in the end. It's so powerful if you get this. It's so powerful if you get it. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So as you do that, as you delight in God within yourself, he will give you those desires of your heart. And the heart, right? Remember, it's the beginning of duality. That's where you give and take. That's where you give and receive within yourself. It's all done within you. Whenever we talk about, there's nothing out there, all reality is within you. That's what it's talking about. It's talking about the fact that everything is within you. Everything is given and receiving within you as you delight yourself in the Lord, within God, right? And so I want to close here with another quote from Neville. And it says, to let all desires become impressions of qualities that are, not of qualities that will be. I am your awareness is God, and God is the fullness of all. The eternal now, I am. And so I just want to close here and just remind you that, as you go through these scriptures and as we talk about this and as we talk about manifesting something, you're really never manifesting anything. You're not creating anything. You're not making something happen like a magic trick. Really what's happening is you are changing yourself from within to who you are, right? And as you change yourself within to be the person that has the thing that you desire, then you will see it, okay? Now, let me just do a quick recap again, because remember, I want you to really get this because this is extremely powerful. And honestly, this is really just it's really just being in the present moment is what this really is. Because as you're delighting yourself in the Lord, a lot of people may think that you're going to church and you're worshiping and, you're singing songs and praising God and you're delighting yourself in the Lord by doing all these fancy things and the music's going and people are singing and, they got the harp and everything else. That's not what it means. It means to go within and experience the fountain beyond what is happening in front of you within your soul, which is coming into view as it's transforming through giving and receiving love, right? And as that fountain transforms the love within your soul, as you express God, you will learn to give and receive between the spiritual into the physical, and you will see the experiences beyond what is happening in front of you. That is just flat out manifesting. As you go within and you delight yourself and you experience God within yourself, those things will be produced. You will see that duality from the unseen come into the seen.